Vista Unified considering changes to in-person learning just a week into its reopening after several coronavirus cases. Meanwhile, getting a look at San Diego Unified's timetable and plan for their return to the classroom, when they plan to welcome students back. And the county making a big push this year to get people vaccinated for the flu before the winter. How you can get yours free. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Hello there. Welcome on this Wednesday. I'm Virginia Cha, joined by my co-anchor, Jim Patton, who's at home, and 10 News meteorologist Megan Perry as well. And we're going to hear from them shortly. But first, let's get to this. Today, some North County students are in limbo after a rise in COVID-19 cases, now giving administrators pause. Mission Vista High School may transition back to distance learning as early as tomorrow as the school board implements new rules. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell has reaction from parents.
Under the Vista Unified School Board's new rules, Mission Vista High School will have to change back to distance learning because of the COVID-19 cases on campus. It was just last week when the school district welcomed back students to school. Now they're working on plans to shut one campus down, Mission Vista High School, after a rise of coronavirus cases. Tuesday night, the school board approved a new plan outlining the framework in dealing with COVID-19 cases. If one school has 2 positive cases in a certain time period, the whole school would shift to virtual learning for 14 days. Or if 3 secondary schools see 1 case each within a certain period, all 3 would go virtual for 2 weeks. Timothy Hernandez has a daughter that attends Mission Vista. He says he started to get concerned after the first day of school.
How many kids are in your class? And she said there was 30 in one of her classes. And I'm like, well, how far are you guys apart? She's like, well, we're about 4 feet apart. We're not really 6 feet. And, you know, it's just like a regular classroom.
He believes in light of the COVID-19 cases on campus in just a week, the district may need to revisit their reopening plan.
I think they just need to reevaluate their plan, and I probably wouldn't bring them back until after summer next year. But I know they've been having problems getting substitute teachers here. So that right there, if you're having problems getting substitute t-shirts, that says a lot.
The school district says they are still working out the plans for Mission Vista's transition back to distance learning, and parents should be notified by the end of today. Reporting from Vista, Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
And other parents rallying to voice their concerns after San Diego Unified announced that they won't be bringing students back to campus until next year. Depending on what happens with the pandemic, the district says they hope to bring back elementary students on January 4th and all other grade levels by January 25th. Even then, students would only be on campus part of the week, learning virtually the rest of the time. Some parents have argued the district can and should do more to get students back in the classroom.
Absolutely poorly all the way around. I mean, they've had 7 months to prepare up until now, and we've had no communication.
District says their goal is to test anyone who comes on campus every few weeks. Well, south of the border, meanwhile, officials in Tijuana say a power outage contributed to deaths of several coronavirus patients over the weekend. This is video from our news gathering partner Televisa of Tijuana General Hospital, where there was a days-long power outage over the weekend. 5 coronavirus patients, reportedly on ventilators, died during the outage. Officials said that the outage also made it very difficult to transport supplies throughout the facility. Now, they attributed the outage to vandalism, although the details are still unclear. The power has since been restored. Virginia?
Thank you, Jim. Well, this morning, crews reporting progress against the wildfires raging to our north in Orange County. Now, here is where things stand. The Silverado fire has slowed down a bit. It's at 13,300 acres, up about 2,000 from yesterday, but crews making considerable progress in just the last 24 hours. They say it's about 25% contained. Crews also making some headway on the Blue Ridge fire, but that one has continued to explode in size, up to more than 14,000 acres so far. We have already seen some of the destruction. Firefighters say it has damaged at least 10 homes, thousands of people under evacuation orders and on edge.
It's pretty scary. It was a touch and go because especially with the embers and the wind.
The Blue Ridge fire is about 16% contained. Well, 3 people are dead after a police chase ended in a violent crash in Mount Hope. It happened on Market and Raven Street about 11 last night. Police say they attempted to pull over a stolen SUV, but the driver sped up and kept going. Eventually, that driver lost control, crashed into a pole, ejecting at least 1 man from the SUV and trapping 3 others. The 3 people in that SUV died at the scene. The man ejected, taken to a hospital with life-threatening injuries. Right now, it's not clear what his condition is. Jim?
Well, former Vice President Joe Biden casting his vote today as President Trump continues his late push to sway swing state voters. ABC's Alex Perche has the latest from the campaign trail.
Just 6 days before Election Day, and both President Trump and Joe Biden's campaigns are making a final push in the states that will decide this race. The president headed to Arizona for a pair of rallies, one of a dozen states he's expected to visit this week.
Now I've got to say, I'm working my off here.
President Trump playing defense. Yesterday, stumping in Michigan, Nebraska, and Wisconsin, places he won in 2016. Now, COVID-19 cases are spiking across all 3. Still, the president adamant that the country is rounding the corner.
We're in great shape. And in the one areas of Midwest, the little areas in the Midwest, certain areas that are heated up right now, they'll go down.
A new ABC News Washington Post poll has Biden up 7 points in Michigan and 17 points ahead in Wisconsin. The View of Wisconsin voters indicating President Trump's COVID-19 response largely contributing to that gap. He's 20 points underwater in his handling of the pandemic there. The 538 average has the race much tighter, Biden ahead by nearly 9 points in Wisconsin. Still, Biden's campaign focusing primarily on the coronavirus.
COVID, he's complaining. He's jealous of COVID's media coverage.
Joe Biden using his top surrogate, Barack Obama, to criticize Trump's handling of the pandemic in Florida.
Last week when Trump was asked if he'd do anything differently, you know what he said? He said, not much. Not much. Really?
Surprisingly, the White House's Office of Science and Technology Policy listed ending the COVID-19 pandemic among President Trump's first-term accomplishments, though new cases of the virus are surging in at least 45 states. The White House telling Fox News this morning that release was poorly worded. The focus on Wisconsin and Michigan continues for the Trump campaign. Vice President Pence is scheduled to visit both states today. The president will be in Arizona, so will Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden is holding campaign events in Delaware. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
In ABC 10 News, your source on election night, we will have live wall-to-wall coverage on streaming devices, including Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and your smartphone. To watch, just download the ABC 10 News app or go to the10news.com for the very latest in all the races that matter to you. Well, straight ahead, historic World Series win, followed by some controversial partying off the field and even on it.
And local researchers on a quest to find new life deep in the ocean and how they hope a discovery could help the world of medicine.
And it's certainly feeling like fall as we approach Halloween, but things are going to be changing. I'll pinpoint the warm-up we'll feel into November.
It is time for an ABC 10 News Voter Fast Fact. All registered voters in San Diego will be getting a mail-in ballot this year. If you choose this option, you may return your ballot by mail, in person, or to a drop box. If you send it by mail, it must be postmarked by Election Day and received no later than 17 days after the election. If you're returning it in person or at a drop box, it must get there no later than 8 p.m. on November 3rd. Remember to sign the back of the envelope because your signature will be compared to the one on your voter registration card. For more information on this and more Voter Fast Facts, go to 10news.com/vote.
Strike 3! Dodgers have won it all in 2020!
The Los Angeles Dodgers finally breaking through, closing out the Tampa Bay Rays in Game 6 to capture their first World Series title in 32 years. The win brought an end to a pretty bizarre season and a wild World Series. This morning, the move everyone is talking about, the Rays' decision to pull starting pitcher Blake Snell in the 5th inning after he'd thrown 9 strikeouts and was shutting out the Dodgers. Well, the Dodgers capitalized immediately. Mookie Betts hitting a double, Austin Barnes and scoring on a wild pitch. Betts showing that speed, adding another on a hit with the infield in. Dodgers fans have been waiting a long time for this one. As for the players, Clayton Kershaw, who has been the face of the franchise through the last decade of disappointment, finally getting a win after a big postseason.
It's a great feeling, and it's there's a lot of emotions that go into it. I think just like pure joy, for one, to have your dream that you've worked so hard for realized.
Dodgers shortstop Corey Seager took home World Series MVP after winning NLCS MVP in the last round. Congratulations to him. Now, after the game, some controversy. Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner had been abruptly pulled mid-game after officials learned he tested positive for the coronavirus. Despite that, he was allowed back onto the field for the post-game celebration and was seen hugging teammates and taking off his mask. Dodgers players and their families reportedly were administered rapid testing later that night. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, fans flooding the streets to celebrate. This is a taste of some of what we saw. Police say the celebrations did get destructive. LAPD says they had to make 8 arrests. They reported incidents of looting and vandalism. The Dodgers say they are going to hold off on an official celebration until it is safe to do it right. Jim?
Congratulations still to the Dodgers. Great job. Well, starting today, a team of researchers from the Scripps Institution of Oceanography exploring the deepest parts of the California coast to find new life, possibly new medicine. ABC 10 News reporter Jared Aarons shows us how people at home can join them on these deep dives.
This is a live stream of the exploration vessel Nautilus, an oceanic research ship. You can see it's pretty empty right now, but pretty soon it's going to be bustling with activity and taking you along for the ride.
Every time we go to a new place, we discover something new.
Lisa Levin is a professor of biological oceanography at UC San Diego's Scripps Institution of Oceanography. She's leading a team of researchers on a mission to explore the deepest parts of the California coast, looking at what animals can survive a mile below the surface, what minerals are there, and how they can make our lives better.
To look at the potential of these microbes to produce chemicals that can cure cancer or provide aid industrial processes. There's a variety of ways that humans might be able to use these.
They'll send this remote-operated vehicle, Hercules, to collect samples and take pictures. As it dives, it will send back a live video feed that anyone who wants to can watch online, letting everyone take part in the mission.
We believe very important to make the public aware of what's in the deep ocean and why it's important, why they should care about it. And there's no better way than allowing people to view it with their own eyes.
Coronavirus postponed the trip from June to October, and because of limited crew size, they can only do 8 hours of exploration each day. But Levin says any new discovery will be worth the extra hassle.
So I'm really hoping we find some really new cool organisms, and we find all the kinds of rocks that we're looking for.
The team will do 9 straight days of deep dives. To watch it live, go to nautiluslive.org, and we've put that link on our website, 10news.com. Jared Aarons, ABC 10 News.